Hey gang, welcome back. Wanted to go ahead and go over today's warm-up. You're going to be using a document setup and refamiliarize yourself with some of these things here. So, as such, we're going to be creating a file. It's going to be our working file for our project, and this is also going to serve as our warm-up for the day. In Adobe Illustrator, I'm going to hit a Command N to create a new file. The width is going to be 17 and the height is going to be 14. Say no need for a bleed, change it to inches, say create. Alright, this is the size of the cardboard sheet of paper that you're going to be using for packaging. What are we going to do with that? I'll tell you later. Command R, it's going to go ahead and pull up the ruler. Don't forget that if I click on the ruler, I can click and drag down, set a guideline, and if I have the black arrow tool and I click and rubber band over that, I can hit Command L to lock it. Sorry, not Command L, forgive me. Command 2, I can lock a guideline and not move it. Shift Command 2 should unlock it, or Option Command 2. Let's try that. Yeah, that undoes it. So there, we got that. The next thing you're going to be doing is measuring a piece of packaging and recreating it here. So you're going to need to know how to measure accurately. You're going to be measuring to scale. Make sure that your packaging fits on this cardboard sheet of paper that I'm giving you. So let's go ahead and imagine that I measure out one of the rectangles or parts of the shapes to have 4 inches on the width, and then it is 6 inches on the height. Maybe that is the center of my milk carton or whatever. Okay. Now I have it there, and say for instance I'm going to give it a stroke. It's a perfect time to talk about strokes. What are strokes and where are they? And let's just unpack them just for a second. So go ahead and create a rectangle just like that. Let's go to the stroke panel, which is over here, and if you don't see it, go to Window, Stroke. Okay, I can bump my stroke weight up, but we're going to keep it at 1 point for right now. Now we're going to use dashed lines to insinuate fold lines, and we will create red lines to insinuate bleed lines. That's when our color is going to go over something. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to change this back to a non-dotted line, and I'm going to leave it like that. We'll also use dotted lines if we want for cutouts. Say for instance I want to put a window right here in my packaging. Okay, so that's cool. You can use measurements if you want, but it will actually you can actually click and drag the ruler over. See how I did that? Click in the top left corner and drag the ruler over to the edge, and now I'm measuring from the edge of that down, so I can click and drag a guideline and it tells me that's exactly 6 inches, just if I wanted to check it. Now make sure after you do that you click back at the top left corner right here and put your ruler back in or set it there for 0. Okay, so we've done that. The next thing we're going to do is create a offset path here. I just want a little bit of a bleed line here, so I'm going to go Object, Path, Offset Path, and it did it almost. I'm going to do offset path by 0.5 inches. Turn this on. There is 0.5. I'm going to say 0.25. Okay, there it is. Let's imagine that this section over here is going to be the bleed line. So I'm going to change the stroke of that to, like I said, red. Okay, so now that's red. I'm going to take off the fill. So now we have a bleed line. So whatever we create as a design, maybe if we have color on it, we would have the color go past the color onto the bleed line, right? Just like as if we were creating that document before, right? So maybe if this is my color, maybe I'm going to have my box be yellow, right? Here's a great time to do that. Command back. Now you see that my color is that, but also Go back one more. I'm going to take the fill off of that right there. And so now I see that my object doesn't need a fill. So there we go. So yeah, so see how I've moved some things? So this is my regular box. This is a window I might cut out. And I want this color to bleed all the way out to the bleed line. Okay? Now you're going to take the rest of your packaging and measure it up, and you can look at the visual example. And but for right here, this is where you would be done for the day. That covers artboards. And the last thing I wanted to add to this was glyphs. So I'm going to go real quick and add one little glyph to this. So I'm going to click the Type tool, go to Type, Glyphs, and I can add the paragraph symbol. Select it. Command-Shift-O creates an outline of it. And that kind of has a very interesting shape, doesn't it? I can then move it around, change the color of it. And so I've used a glyph here to create an interesting shape. All right. Okay, so this is where we're at. Look at the visual example if you need help, and then we'll get you with your partner.